Hi, I'm Shrimple, and welcome to my channel, where we yap a bunch about video games and try our best not to get absolutely destroyed playing them. You see, back when I was a shrimp in real life, my dad showed me the hit horror classic, cult classic movie, Resident Evil, and it left me scarred. Like, nightmares and waking up in a cold sweat every night for a summer level scared. And that's not because of its Rotten Tomato score. It's because I was legitimately terrified. And it was something that I carried with me for several years, and I never really played any zombie or horror games because of that. However, I've always been fascinated with the entire genre of zombie games and horde shooters and things like that. So I decided, what better set of videos to make for the opening of this channel than conquering those fears that plagued my younger self and overcoming one of the hardest challenges I've ever done. And that's the Left 4 Dead 2 all base campaigns on expert difficulty challenge, and getting the illustrious Still Something to Approve achievement on Steam. Now, for the rules of the run, I have to play every single campaign on expert difficulty with no mods and only with the AI. I wanted to go into this with as little information as possible, and while it's kind of impossible to avoid spoilers for a game like Left 4 Dead 2, as popular as it's been, and the fact that it's now over 15 years old, I personally have never played any of these campaigns. So I was going into it as blind as I could, which led to me making, some boneheaded decisions, but I improved over the course of the run. So for now, while the young and inexperienced version of myself goes through a test run of Dead Center to accumulate some footage, let's talk about what the expert difficulty entails. So expert difficulty changes the dynamic of what Left 4 Dead is about. Because at lower difficulties, it's about fulfilling a power fantasy, where you're just mowing down hordes of zombies, and you have some zombies that are going to be causing some issues for you, which are known as special infected. But on expert difficulty, this is flipped completely on its head, and you are fighting for your life in every single interaction. So the basics is that you are going to be doing reduced damage to all the zombie types, and all the infected are going to be doing more damage, which incentivizes you to get headshots as body shots are all doing reduced damage, and playing keep away from the zombies as much as possible. However, to counteract that, hordes and waves of infected are thrown at you more often, making that a challenge to do. Also, according to the wiki, the special infected AR are bumped up and are smarter, which leads to some insane combo plays, which I'll showcase later in the video, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. Your first type of enemy you're going to be fighting in this game is going to be the common infected. And you know these guys. It's what would happen to you or me if we got snacked on at the start of the infection because we were too busy trying to order a meal using a delivery service. Right? These guys are now a threat. They will be doing 20 damage on each hit, which is a fifth of your health, and they are swarming you with anywhere from like 5 to 80 of them. And they're jumping on you like you just fell down in the middle of a rave. Then you also have your special infected, which they just become walking natural disasters on expert mode, with any of them catching you out of position, quickly resulting in a quick trip back to the previous safe zone. As I go on in the series, I'll be ranking the special infected in terms of their threat levels as they come up during the challenge, so look forward to that. For now, all you need to know is that there is the following infected. You have the hunter, who's the kid on the back of the bus who definitely doesn't do drugs and will pounce on you for any your mom joke you make and lacerate your kidneys. You've got the boomer, who's a failed mukbang YouTuber and who will drop from the top ropes before giving you your very own gender reveal party. You've got the smoker, who's your personal BDSM artist who doesn't have any safe words and his favorite position is you dangling from that roof over there. You've got the jockey, who's a professional Ratatouille cosplayer who doesn't quite grasp the concept that the chef isn't the one who's cooked and eaten at the end. You've got the charger. Oh my god, is that the Subway Slammer? Oh my god, the Subway is his for the slamming. Wait a minute. Oh god, no, the Steam reviews. Get him off screen now. You've got the spitter, who's the boomer's bulimic sister, cousin, girlfriend, who exclusively drinks Mountain Dew, eats car batteries, and loves Modern Warfare 2. And then we've also got 2 other special infected who I'll bring up later on in the video. But our first campaign in this challenge is Dead Center. That's the chronological start of the campaigns, and it's where our survivors all meet up at a hotel and try to figure out how to survive in this ongoing apocalypse. And as you can see from the test session over here, surviving is easier said than done in this challenge. So, without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. Chapter 1 Hotel is a very basic level, right? It serves to introduce a ton of the concepts Left 4 Dead will use moving forward. It starts you off in a safe space with a bunch of meds and weapon choices in the form of pistols and melee weapons, and you get a little chance to experience the vibrance of the world, right? You see immediately there's some helicopters overhead that are leaving you behind, telling you what your next plan is, learn what it is that you're doing. And the first floor that you clear when you're going through the hotel, it's kind of slow, right? And you're clearing room by room. But that starts to change really fast when the path in front of you explodes. And now you need to climb out a window in order to get past it. And that just kind of ramps up in terms of what is our group of survivors going to need to do in order to survive this apocalypse. And it leads us to a place where we take an elevator down to the ground floor, and there's a raging inferno that our heroes have to go through as they're getting rushed down by a giant horde of zombies and special infected that are all just jumping through the fire and the flames. And as the survivors are choking on the smoke, they have to get out of the building. And ultimately, this wasn't really a challenging level by any means. We managed to complete it on our first try in both the test footage that was playing as B-roll and also our first session without too many issues. However, this level did introduce how intelligent the special infected can be. During our test footage, the Charger attempted to knock our team off the building when we were outside, when we were on the higher floors. And during our live session, the Spitter cut off our team during the final section of the level, and so we had to deal with a horde and get super beat up when we were in a really good position as we were about to end the level. But ultimately, we ended with 0 deaths for Chapter 1, and we can move on to Chapter number. Unfortunately, Chapter 2 doesn't have like the greatest set piece and scenery. Like if we're going to compare it to Chapter 1 and Chapter 3, which both take place in pretty iconic horror locations, right? A hotel and a mall that you've seen in a ton of movies and TV shows. There aren't really any iconic locations that we deal with here. It's more so trying to get you between those set pieces, right? Where it's very much transitionary of us cutting across a couple streets, jumping over dividers, through like maintenance hatches, and trying to get to our next safe zone. There is one exception though, in which we go through a gun store, which it's perfect, right? It allows us to access the full suite of weapons. So if anybody's just trying to test a new gun, you're able to learn exactly what each of these weapons do. And so the gun store owner, Whitaker, still a crazy name, by the way. I have to imagine it's his last name. He says, hey, I'm going to be willing to blow up this truck that's going to stop you from getting to the next safe zone, which is the mall. But you got to do something for me first, which is to grab me a pack of legally distinct cola. Now, this level also introduced both of our boss infected, which are special infected that have a ton more power and a ton more strengths than your common infected do. So they're less likely to spawn with the others. And their strengths really define this challenge run in many ways. Both of our deaths during this session came from these 2 infected. And it really showcases the pain that we're going to be dealing with over the course of the entire run. Now, the first of these infected is the tank. This infected is built like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He benches more than you, with you on top of it, and then he's going to chuck full-on slabs of concrete or even cars to decimate you and your entire team. I don't have any jokes for this roid-raging machine. Just fear and pain as he knocks down survivors in one hit, and then even when you're on the ground, he can 2-shot you. Right? My only hope during this challenge was to make sure that we were fighting in open spaces, or that he was far enough away to where I could throw a Molotov or a gas canister or something and just whittle him down as time went on. The other special infected here is the Witch. And if the tank is the immovable object, the Witch is the unstoppable force. Once she wakes up, she will kill whoever she's attacking. And if you try to get in the way of her attacking that person, she's gonna kill you first. Now, the funny thing is that she's actually built like the weakest of any of the special infected, and then she stabs you under the ribs. Luckily, once she decides that she's done turning your friends into chum for Plankton to sell, she usually leaves you alone. So each time she spawns, it becomes a bit of like a bartering game, where you have to choose between dumb and dumber for who's gonna wake her up. Usually, it's gonna be you though, right? Shooting into a horde, no clue she's on the other side, until it's too late and you hear her start screaming. Despite like a minor hiccup with a few commons and a hunter blocking the exit, we were actually able to make it out of this chapter in 3 tries. And adding our 4 deaths from the test session on this chapter, that'll bring our total to 6 deaths from chapter 2 and 6 deaths total. Another pipeline. Wow, there's so many like throwables that you get in this game. How do I... Okay, you throw with left click. I kind of don't want to use this until there's something good to use it on. Oh, like that? That'll be a good thing to use it on. Guys, I'm gonna need you guys to, like, deal with her. Oh. I think that's it. I think that's the end of our first run. Alright, cool. Well, that's unfortunate. I had a plan going into that. And unfortunately, it did not work out. I didn't see the fact that we killed it. Thanks for saving me from that jockey. The tank. Cool. Cool. We didn't have a tank spawn here last time. Well, that seems like run number 2 is kind of cooked. Not gonna lie. Maybe there will be another chainsaw in here. That seemed like it was pretty cool. Nice. Alright, let's get out. Let's get out. Dude, this chainsaw is going crazy. Not crazy enough, apparently. I have died. Wait, I'm gonna die. That's the end. Well, life number 3, you know, comes by you fast. Where's all my teammates? I guess I'm glad that these guys can't shoot me, even though I can shoot them. I guess I say that, but now I'm getting run through the fire and the flames. I don't think I'll die here. Oh, never mind. Everybody walked through the fire to try to get me. Oops. But I mean, like, the Deep South is just a great, what do you call it? Like, atmosphere to have a zombie game in. Oh, jockey. Man, he took a couple bullets. But yeah, I think the Deep South is like a really cool location for a zombie game. Tank. Oh my god, he one-shot my AI! Oh, guys, I think this is cooked. Okay, well, that's how easy this can go awry, I suppose. I wasn't expecting there to be a tank in the first doorway. What does that sound? Is that like a witch? Hunter? Hold on, can I at least set up the fire? Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. What is that? I think I accidentally shot the witch while I was down. Chapter 3 is really where we hit our first roadblock of the challenge. As we enter the mall through the equivalent of modern day malls, dilapidated, shuttered, and closed stores, full of sadness. You know, for a game that came out in 2009, it was really ahead of its time for showcasing the death of public gathering spaces. So, what this level really taught us that the infected aren't the enemies. The people are. Specifically me, I am the enemy. Every time I shoot into a horde of infected, it's like the companions in this game become bullet magnets, and I find a way to give them the old Gary Webb treatment. But what truly makes this level difficult is the event. Now, events are something I haven't really touched on yet, right? And we're already chapter 3 of this campaign. And I could be wrong on this with how events work, but essentially, they're a once a chapter thing that happens, and it acts as a barrier for player progression. Usually, you'll get some type of like big warning lights that go off when you get near it, and it goes, "Stop! If you go forward, you will fight a horde." Now, I haven't gone into detail for the previous 2 chapters events, because they were fairly minor hindrances on our run, and they didn't really stop us at all. We had the elevator event in chapter 1, which directly led into us getting a new weapon, and the entire horde reenact what it's like when you put a pizza roll in your mouth too soon after taking it out of the oven, and they just burn to death immediately. In chapter 2, the cola event was pretty iconic, right? You do just use an RPG on a tanker because you gave him Coca-Cola. But even then, we got through it without too much difficulty, and the tank fight after blowing up the truck really felt more like a roadblock, and that was kind of just a random event. However, the Chapter 3 event is evil. See, this is the introduction of Eternal Hordes, or Infinite Hordes, whatever you want to call it, where the zombies don't stop spawning no matter what until you clear whatever objective it is that you're doing. Usually that's going to be running to a button or a lever and switching it off. But sometimes it can just be like a sprint to try and get to the end of the level. In Chapter 3's case, it's the former. You need to run up several flights of stairs to get to a security room at the end of the mall and turn off the alarm. This is a level where your resources are already spread very thin, with a tank or a witch usually spawning before the event, several hordes of zombies, and you just don't have the ammo and meds to really deal with it, especially when you're dealing with the AI that I was. Usually it becomes more of a marathon to get through this level than a sprint. So when you end off that entire section with low meds, and then you have to do a mad dash to the security button, it cost us several runs. Especially, mind you, that this is the first time I've ever played this section of the game, so I had absolutely no clue where to even run in order to turn off the alarm. This, prepared with the liberal spawning of the special infected within the horde, resulted in 4 deaths in Chapter 3, including an absolutely heartbreaking death. All right, I'm gonna pop my adrenaline, and then I'm gonna immediately run.
Thanks, my brother.
Where do I go? All right, cool. I think I turned it off. Jesus, all of us are alive. We didn't kill the smoker? All right. I am limping. I'm at 1 HP. Please tell me. I couldn't get away in time. She just suicided into me, man. Yeah, that was unfortunate there. Now, there's not really going to be a better spot for me to rank the spitter than right here. That death was the most impactful a spitter ever was in this whole run. He has a pretty fun gimmick with the Modern Warfare 2 martyrdom on death, but ultimately, with just how much damage all infected do on Expert, the likelihood of having her spit be the difference maker in a run surviving or not doesn't really happen. If my survivor is already low on HP, even a common infected is more likely to kill me. Her trapping survivors with the spit, it's annoying to deal with on occasion, and it did result in me in losing in heartbreaking fashion a couple times, but it's nothing more than an inconvenience in normal circumstances. For me, this infected is deep. Ultimately, after reviewing the footage, right, and posting in this video, Chapter 3 definitely could have gone better with more knowledge of the game as I gained it over the course of the rest of the run. And if I chose to run this back later, it would have gone way smoother. But ultimately, it was a fun time, even if it overstayed its welcome with the sheer length of the chapter. It especially caused it to feel like a slog, with the section after the event feeling, pretty pointless compared to the other levels. Our total deaths after Chapter 3 are 10. I'm out of ammo. If she spits in this room, both Nick and Coach are dead. Nick. Nick, come on, man. Mouse. What's mouse for? Is that my bottom mouse button? Is that melee? Okay. Gave it to Coach. Oh, he's dead. Wait, can I give him a second pill? Oh no, he already took it. Cool. Alright, it appears that we are hemorrhaging people. Be ready to fight the horde. Oh, and the boomer. Where am I going? This is not ideal. This is awful. This is horrible. I hate every single second about this. Aw, Coach died to a charger, man. Well, I think we made it pretty far. All right, Coach, let's get it. Let's just sprint. Like, I don't want to mess with this more than I have to. Coach, buddy.
There's a hunter out there.
Coach, I have to come back for you, but if I die to this hunter, Coach, I will never forgive you.
I'm going to get you on your feet.
But I mean, this is why I need Coach, right? I know he's gonna look out for my back, because I know if I get hit by that hunter, it's Omega over. Come on, Coach, please. All right. Slightly less than ideal for me to take 80% of my health there.
Grabbing a shot.
But I mean, at least I have a chance. Alright, I'm just gonna pop it and I'm running. I'm popping and I'm running. Popping and I'm running. I don't know how to get upstairs. That's another hunter. This is over. That hunter was poorly placed. There was a tank, I think, climbing up that wall, so I think it wasn't meant for the... That wasn't the attempt. That was never going to be the attempt. Alright, more pain pills. Can I give another one to Coach? Is that a thing? I don't think that did anything.
Get ready, the alarm is going to sound.
Alright, when this alarm sounds... just gonna run as fast as I can. Another hunter. Got rid of him. Nice. Now, where am I going? Do I have to go downstairs? Do I have to go upstairs? Oh god. The zombies are just falling all over themselves now, man. Alright, get rid of the smoker. Get out of my way. Alright, you know what? We're not doing too bad. I think that was a boomer that died. You know, overall, this is easily our best pace. Alright, I say that. I'm surrounded by zombies. I have died. Why did I have to talk? Oh my god, and I got spat on? I think I died. And there's a hunter! Oh my my god, there's so many of them just came out that door. Oh my god, this has gone so poorly, so fast. You know what, boys? Sorry to do that to you. Oh, it's over. I had to open my big mouth. Why were there so many special infected sitting around that wall? The beauty of the finale is how the survivors come up with a plan on the fly. It doesn't feel contrived, though the situation itself is kind of nonsensical for the car to still work if it's being used for this purpose, and then for there to be a ton of gas cans everywhere. But the situation itself with the survivors viewing their surroundings, realizing their initial plan to get saved is lost, and still come together on that elevator ride down and form a plan to rig the stock car, it's super fun to see. Right? As a capstone to the campaign, the difficulty itself wasn't really anything to write home about. It's the first time we do experience the equivalent of a holdout, though, since we need to collect the 8 gas canisters with never-ending hordes. But unlike later hordes, though, this one is very tame. As editing shrimp here, it actually feels incredibly fair to be the first finale, and for it to be so easy compared to the other ones that come up. All of the gas canisters are relatively easy to collect, usually just up one flight of stairs and you can get out of there. They can be thrown down to the stock car very easily with only a few issues. I don't recommend hitting the roof of the kiosk or setting your entire horde of gas canisters on fire while trying to fight a tank. And I don't know what you're saying. There's no way it could happen to me, right? And it definitely not on back-to-back attempts. So shut up. And there's also a treasure hoard of supplies at each gas canister that can be used to make the trek between them pretty easy. I did struggle with this before knowing that information and died filling up the car a few times. But once I figured out where the throwables were in the level, we first tried it immediately. Now, with throwables, I'll be updating like which ones I think are useful after each campaign, as my use for them changed. And with better understanding of the game mechanics as I went on, I adjusted how I would use them over the course of the run. But our first throwable, and the one at the top of the list after campaign 1, was the Molotov. Right? The large AoE fire stopped any horde in its tracks. It was the only consistent weapon I had in my tank to counter tanks, which especially in the early levels was deadly. Right? I didn't know how to fight it. The close quarter combat in the mall especially, he would kill somebody every single time. And with wide open spaces for him to chuck rocks and cars, we were just down every single time we fought a tank. Our second throwable is the pipe bomb. You got a little explosive device that emits a noise and it collects all the infected in an area before exploding. This was my crutch to clear most infected that normally spawned within a level if I found one, but I didn't yet learn how effective it could be at killing the respawning hordes, so it's a little below the Molotov in terms of usefulness, but it was my favorite to use at the end of this level. And lastly, we got Boomer Bile. Boomer Bile itself, right, you throw it on the ground just like you would a pipe bomb, and it'll get infected to go towards it. For me, after the end of this first campaign, I didn't see how that could be useful in which a pipe bomb wouldn't be. So I had no idea how to use it. In all cases where I did end up using it, it felt underwhelming, and it didn't really help. And ultimately, it just ended up spawning more zombies than normal, so I had to kill more things. But at the end of campaign number 1, we have 13 total deaths. We'll see if we're able to keep the pace, right? We are only getting like 2, 3, 4 deaths per chapter at that. So I feel pretty strong about where we are going into campaign number 2. But we're going to have to see just how we improve, what changes over the course of the rest of videos. Please make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any comments on any edits I should make, please let me know. This is my first time creating any type of video form content, So I'm not sure exactly audio balance, not sure exactly how to do any editing stuff. So apologies if this isn't super high quality. I'm going to be doing my best to improve as much as I can over the next couple months as I try and push out these videos, try streaming potentially. But I would appreciate any and all feedback that you have. I'll try my best to make sure that I'm checking the comments as often as possible. Ultimately, thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for watching. And if you like it, there's going to be more on the horizon. So, goodbye. Here, I think we're good.
Shoot the shit out of that thing. I got this one.
Okay. Hit a tree. That's a charger. I don't have a molly. I don't have a molly. Can I outrun him? Please attack me, attack me, attack me, attack me. Alright, Ellis is dead. It's going so poorly.
Look out.
Oh, they're both down. Oh, I got smoked. You know, I think we got everything down to the level we needed, though. Oh, that one hit slowed me down. No, 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 no. We're so close. More spitter go? Oh my god, are they all gonna die to another spitter? Alright, I don't think I have a way to survive unless... Yeah. Oh well, oh well. I think if we don't have half of our if we don't have half of our tanks of gasoline immediately explode, because I guess like the fire just like spread to it or something. If we don't have that happen, I think we're good. Just shoot him. Okay. At least if we have two, we're fine. Okay, here's the tank. Here, throw this at him. Please reload. Please reload. Okay, he's on fire now at least. Jockey's also down. The entire team's dead. Okay, okay. Just clutch up. Alright, don't need to be scared. I can do it. I'm a big boy. And when I said I was a big boy, I didn't mean I was fat. What do you mean? I was standing behind the pillar. Alright. So I just need two more. One right here. One right here. You know what? Even grab a boomer bile, I suppose. And while these guys are messing around, I'm just gonna get this fuel in. Alright, and we made it! Chuck this at the ground, and we made it out. Let's go. Fantastic. First campaign done. Got an achievement and everything. Price Chopper. Ellis died? Ellis was just standing there.